backed and powered by 150 years of business experience. Venue is a virtual data room trusted by the best of the Fortune 500 to move deals seamlessly from one to the other to the next too.
From repairing aging bridges to modernizing LaGuardia and other airports, the nation has no shortage of large-scale infrastructure needs. Yet despite all that demand, we haven't seen much action. Large construction and infrastructure firms have seen their bottom lines being impacted by the same legislative environment that has affected defense contractors and others who rely on the government as a bill-paying customer. Today we'll discuss some of the factors driving M&A and financings within infrastructure. Welcome to today's installment of Merger Talk. I'm Mark Aiello, Vice President General Manager for Venue, the virtual data room platform of Donnelley. Today I'm joined by Nick Butcher, Head of North American Infrastructure at Macquarie Capital. Nick, thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get started. Given that infrastructure is comprised of a lot of different asset classes, rail, road, ports, airports, can you discuss where you see multiples across those classes and where you think they're headed?
Sure. So capital for infrastructure investment is available at all-time historic lows, and so that is really leading to strong multiples that we're seeing for assets in that are trading. So we're seeing roads go upwards of 30 times of EBITDA, ports and airports in 15 to 20 times of EBITDA. So they're really strong prices, which is supported by this low cost of capital that is really hungry for investment in the sector. And I think it's going to continue. So there is globally hundreds of billions of dollars of dry powder looking for investment opportunities. In the US alone, it's at least 50 billion for equity. You add debt on top, we're talking $100 billion available for investment in the sector. So that's going to continue to keep multiples high.
So with all that dry powder, where do you see the greatest opportunities for people to invest?
So I think energy is really strong. Energy infrastructure here in the US is a really strong place. For transport, we're going to see opportunistic sales in ports and toll roads, but it's not as much as it could be, nothing like it could be. To give you an example, airports in the US are largely municipal owned. That represents $250 billion of potential investment opportunity if the private sector was able to get into that market. So really I see the opportunity for more capital to be deployed over time as the market here starts to embrace private capital more.
So as more capital flows in, what are your thoughts about what we'll see in terms of public-private partnerships and financings?
So the public-private partnerships are a great way for private capital to build new infrastructure, create jobs, stimulate the economy. The pipeline isn't as strong as we had hoped going back a couple of years, and we've seen a lot of political changes in state and local level that sort of led to projects being delayed and cancelled. To give you an example, Canada has over 200 public-private partnerships that have been completed. The US, only 40. So there's a long way to go for the US to really adopt that model. I'm spending a lot of time out there trying to convince governments about the merits of public-private partnerships, and we're optimistic that the pipeline is continuing to grow.
Great. And then what do you see in terms of successful investment partnerships and successful strategies, and what should investors consider?
Yeah, it's been a key theme over the last few years of investors looking to partner with strategics or other operators in particular sectors. And what they see is really important is the ability to invest and grow that investment over time alongside an expert in the sector, operator, developer, contractor. And so we're seeing a number of the big pension funds and sovereign wealth funds form strategic partnerships around the world to really deploy capital in infrastructure.
Nick Butcher of Macquarie, thanks so much for joining today.
Thanks for having me. A pleasure to be here.
Thanks. And thank you for joining. For more Merger Talk, visit thedeal.com.